when I made this beer on I was making a record called Happy to Be Here, and this guy, Keith Christopher, was going to get some beer, and he went, B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. I went, what the fuck is that? And he said, oh, him and his friend had this song. He said, me and my buddy made up this song, and I said, sing it. And everything other than that was really felt like, it was like a rugby song, you know? None of it you could use. So I said, can I have that, you know? And then he said I could. So I had those lines, and I was waiting for them to show up. I didn't know where they'd go. You know, I had my course, I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And I was out playing at a thing called, there's a radio station in Northern California called K-Pig. And they have these swine soirees where they have like country rock bands all day. And I was sitting there on the side of the stage. I played, and Robert was on after me. And in Texas, if you go see Robert Earl Keen, especially in those days, it's college kids, and they're going like crazy, like it's the last play of the Super Bowl for 90 minutes, and they throw beer on each other, and like when like they'll boo you. Goddamn. One time I opened for him in New Orleans. You gotta remind me what the story I was telling. I went out there, they were chanting his name for a half an hour, and then the guy comes out and says, are you ready for Robert Earl Keen? And they go, ah. And he goes, all right, but first. And they booed, like Todd Snider, and they booed in the front row like that. And I said, I played Call Me to Breathe. And then I said, okay, for my next trick, I need a volunteer. And all I did was that. And I got them to raise their hands. And then I disappeared, right? And that was the end of my thing. And I was like, that was it. I was done. I sat back there and I watched them. I waited to see how long they'd hold their hands up. And then the owner of the place came over and said, what the fuck is going on? And I said, you don't have to pay me, but you're gonna have to forgive me. And then Robert, I did it for Robert. I had a set list on the floor that said, Breeze, Magic. And so when Robert came out, he saw that was my plan the whole time. I was like, oh yeah. And so he saved that set list. He's got it framed in his, he's such a good cat. And so but that's what his crowds were like. And then, so in Santa Cruz, he was huge out there, but it was all these older hippies, and they just, you know, ponder what he was saying, and they'd be real quiet during the show. So I was watching his show, and there was like these frat guys from Texas trying to get the crowd. They're like, what is wrong with this crowd? And they were trying to get everybody pumped up, I guess. And nobody was going with them, you know. And so that's when I saw that happening. All of a sudden I started making this up, and ended up being my version of Beer Run, which is like impossibly uncommercial. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, Beer Run. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, Beer Run. All you need is a 10 and 5 or a car key, so drive the B-double-E-double-R-U-N, Beer Run. A couple of frat guys from Abilene drove out all night to see Robert Earl Keen at the K-Pig Swine and Soiree dance. There were baseball caps and khaki pants. They wanted cigarettes, so to save some money, they got one off these hippies that smelled kind of funny. Next thing they knew, they were both really hungry and pretty thirsty too. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, Beer Run. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, Beer Run. All you need is a 10 and 5 car key and slow driver. B-double-E-double-R-U-N. store with the sign said their beer was coldest. They sent in Brad because he looked the oldest. Got a case of beer and a candy bar. Walked over to where all those registers are. He laid his fake ID on the countertop. The clerk looked, he turned, he looked back up, he stopped, and he said, "Kid, I'm not gonna call the cops, but I'm gonna have to keep this car." The guys both took it pretty hard. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. Oh, how happy we would be in the middle. They probably put the fake ID on the B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. Met this other old hippie named Sleepy John. He claimed to be from Robert Earl Keen's song, so they gave him their cash. He bought them some brews. It was a beautiful day out in Santa Cruz. They were feeling so good, it should have been a crime. The crowd was cool, the band was prime. They made it back from their seats just in time to sing with all their friends. The road goes on forever and the party never. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. I was for me, the 10 and the 5, Earl Keen and the sober driver. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. B-double-E-double-R-U-N, beer run. Yeah. Anytime someone says they like some other singer besides me, I'll be like, "Yeah, but what's their song spell, though?"